Thank you very much. Thanks for coming to see me. Hello, everyone. Thank you. It's good to be... Oh, I'm smashing it already. That was a silly pun. It wasn't planned. But not everybody watching this on YouTube has English as their first language, so they figure it out and feel good about themselves. Smashing it, glass smashing. To them, it means a bigger deal. Anyways, it's good to be here, great to be back, or in the words of Nigel Farage, أهلا وسهلا بكم جميعا. إلى هذا الأرض الصاخر. Isn't that true? Somebody had to say it. Anyway, good to be here. Now, I've got a bad bruise on this side of my face. Thanks for asking. I'll tell you what happened. So tonight, I'll need you guys to look your most beautiful and entertained, so our picture editor, Paul, can opt for that camera angle. Yeah, now what happened? I was standing in the swimming pool with my little daughter negotiating with me as to when and how to jump into my arms. And as I was negotiating with her, I forgot that I had another daughter in my blind spot who was not waiting for the clearance. She went at it, I guess, a career as a pilot with Delta Airlines. Endeavor Delta Airlines is on the cards for her. And of course, it's embarrassing to be reduced like this by a little girl, so I'm going to ask Paul to edit that bit out. And I'm going to say that I was attacked by this vicious 13-year-old white English boy. They're out of control, these 13-year-old white English boys. He was trying to kill me. That's all the rage. Have you seen Adolescence on Netflix? Good people, the story of a vicious 13-year-old white English boy who hacks to death another little white English girl. Are they kidding? Is that serious? Our Prime Minister thinks it's a documentary. They're gaslighting us. You watch TV commercials for video doorbells and all the thieves are white? Really? You want to watch Snow White? She's brown? Really? Canadians tell us they have national pride? Come on now. Ill-managed government, healthcare, and maple syrup do not make a national identity. Join the US already. Yeah, but thankfully Netflix has been open to the criticism. They have announced a sequel, Adolescence 2. The protagonist will be a bunch of white English 13-year-old girls. And they get together and rape thousands of Pakistani men. In Rotherham, in Telford, in Derby, in Oxford, in Luton, all across the country. Keir Starmer is already on it. He has read the screenplay with his kids. He's legislating to tackle the problem of voiceless Pakistani men being assaulted by little English girls. What a prime minister, huh? Now, ancient Romans said, nomen est omen. Your name is your destiny. Nomen est omen. A fun fact for you. Did you know that in the Persian language, kir means penis? Yeah? Here means penis. If you don't believe me, go to the biggest luxury hotel in your town and ask a Persian-speaking bogus asylum seeker to confirm it for you. Prime Minister penis. Penis by name, penis by nature. Speaking of Iran, they have a funny foreign minister. He's quite smart. Whenever he's grilled by Western journalists, they're like, why do you have political dissidents in prison? We don't have political prisoners. They are not political prisoners. They are agitators of the public opinion. That's what they are. What about those journalists in prison? We don't have journalists in prison. They are not journalists. These are pen pushers promoting a distorted, discrediting agenda by our enemies. What about those peaceful protesters in prison? Those are not peaceful protesters. Those are the foot soldiers of the penetrating, nefarious agenda of the imperialist powers. And then this guy turns on his TV and sees Keir Starmer at the White House next to Donald Trump, and J.D. Vance tells Keir, you are jailing people for stickers and silent prayers. And Keir says, we have freedom of speech in Britain and we are quite proud of it. And the Iranian foreign minister is like, are you kidding me? That's all it takes? Was that an option? Outright denial was an option? I've been busting my back, coming up with fancy mouthfuls of terminology, and English is not even my first language. And this guy doesn't have the decency, the shame to at least come up with some justification? Are you kidding me? Keir Starmer. In Southport, this black kid hacked to death 3 little white girls. There were racial riots, and Keir came out and said, I'm utterly heartbroken. I'm utterly heartbroken for the senseless loss of these 3 police cars. White people must stop looting, rioting, stealing is cultural appropriation. He had a point, to be fair to him. And then he blamed it on Amazon for the delivery of knives. He's blaming knife crime on Amazon for delivery of knives. They asked him about the assassination of Julius Caesar. And he blamed Amazon's delivery of knives. They asked him about Helen of Troy and the Trojan horse. And he blamed Amazon for the delivery of Trojan horses. They asked him about Noah's Ark and the Genesis flood, and he blamed climate change. That's why the British government is pressing ahead with the net zero and green agenda. Are you familiar? The green agenda. Let's phase out oil and gas. What a great idea. Let's phase out oil and gas. Let's take away from Arabs their only source of income and prosperity. Nothing can go wrong with that plan. It's all part of a grand scheme to make Arabs a bit more angry. Do you know Arabs? The ones who hate the West and the ones who hate the West but don't want to destroy the West because they have assets in the West. Let's make sure they will have no longer assets in the West. What a great idea. I was reading something on social media. This guy was like, yeah, let's phase out oil and gas, make Arabs irrelevant. Let's make Arabs. If you think they hate you now, wait until you make them irrelevant. I'm trying to read the room. Do you guys like accountability? That's the theme of this set, but first, genocide. I mean, genocide is not funny per se. Give me a chance to explain. That's disrespectful, come on. But honestly, there has been a genocide going on. Haven't you noticed? The genocide actually cost Kamala Harris her election bid. How many children do you think they've killed in the past year or so? How many? And mark my wording, I didn't say have been killed. I said, how many children have they killed? Because it's deliberate, you know? And they expect us to believe that killing these children is just a byproduct, an unwanted, undesirable side effect of them exercising their right. And they expect us to believe that killing these children actually makes them sad. And they come up with these fancy terminology to justify this. What do they call it? They call it women's reproductive health care. Because Kamala was all about women's reproductive health care. Now, that's a good joke because half of you were tense and are now happy. And half of you were happy and now are tense. But you know, they're up to no good when they come up with euphemisms, right? When they resort to euphemisms. I was watching Canadian foreign minister at the UN, and she came on and said, yeah, we want more women's reproductive health care. We want more bodily autonomy for women. We want more agency for women. We want more choice for women. And she went on and on. But ultimately, the TV screen space is quite limited. So the media had to write, Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly wants more abortion. So the TV screen is limited and the space limit shall set you free. But you know they're up to no good when they use euphemisms. It's like when your estate agent describes a neighborhood as vibrant. Right? What does that mean? What does a vibrant neighborhood mean? It means when you go to the supermarket, all products are locked up. Except books. And sun cream. Am I breaking any news to anybody? Stop me anytime I say something factually inaccurate. Now, speaking of vibrant places, the city of Baltimore, Maryland, is suing 2 Korean car manufacturers, Hyundai and Kia, because their cars are too easy to steal. Their cars are too easy to get into, and because these cars are too easy to steal, it has led to a disproportionate number of African Americans being prosecuted. Can you believe that? No accountability for the actual culprits. Isn't that insane? Now, speaking of insane, Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is when women repeatedly This is new. Have you heard this before? Were you in Stratford? Albert Einstein said, insanity means when women repeatedly vote for open borders and then are surprised at being assaulted on the streets of London. What, you don't agree? Are you smarter than Albert Einstein? He said that. They vote for open borders and then they're surprised at being assaulted. It's like buying a pit bull for your baby and being surprised that the pit bull assaults the baby. I'd like to buy a pit bull for my baby, please. It's gonna assault your baby, ma'am. No, but with the right kind of education, maybe. There have been educators, didn't work. Like whom? Like the last king of Afghanistan? What happened? He died in exile. Anyone else? The last king of Iran? What happened? Well, the clue is the word last, you know? He died in exile too. Anyone else? Oh yeah, the last king of Iraq. Did he die in exile? No, he died hanged upside down from his palace, royal palace balcony. We are no longer talking about pit bulls, are we? No, this is a metaphor or allegory. You guys like allegory? Yeah? Coincidentally, allegory is also the new leader of Syria. Yeah? Do you like whimsical segues? The new leader of Syria, what a great transformation, what a reinvention, what a rebranding. This man had all blemishes possible on his resume. A commander in ISIS, commander in Al-Qaeda, BBC News presenter. And he totally reinvented himself. I mean, first, his terrorist organization, he renamed them. It was called Jabhat al-Nusra, Victory Front. But Victory Front is full of toxic masculinity. So he changed it to HTS, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which means Inclusive Safe Space for Awareness and Equity. And then to ingratiate himself with the British government, he told them that all the massacres committed by his forces were carried out by weaponry delivered by Amazon. And then the West enabled this guy and legitimized him. And then the following week, they resumed massacring Christians in Syria. And the West was surprised. You legitimized and empowered Islamic terrorists, and now they are massacring Christians again, and you're surprised? This is like women voting for open borders. I'm being surprised that we covered this, remember? But it's a dream refugee scenario for those coming from Syria. They get to our border. Hello, I am escaping from the Assad regime, a very brutal regime. So the Assad regime has been toppled by the Al-Qaeda terrorists and ISIS. Yes, that's what I meant. I'm escaping from ISIS, very brutal regime. Okay, get in. Next. Hello, I am the Assad regime. I am escaping from ISIS as per the previous applicant. Okay, go in. Next. Hello, I am ISIS. I already have British passport. Sir, British passport holders, use that queue, please. Next. Hello, I come from Syria. I would like asylum application. Sir, you are black. Syria is a very diverse nation, you know. All right, you're lucky Labour is in Downing Street right now. If you had come under the previous government, you wouldn't have let me in? Oh no, we would have let you in, but not before a 45-minute interview. Yeah. Speaking of accountability and silly women, Lily Phillips, British OnlyFans model, made headlines when she announced this new stunt. She's gonna sleep with 1,000 men in 24 hours. And of course, in October, she slept with 100 men over 24 hours. And this led to a lot of debate over the state of the Western society and values and all that. Who's to blame, who's not to blame. Do you know who feminists are blaming? Feminists are blaming Korean car manufacturers, Kia and Hyundai, because Lily Phillips is too easy to get into. No accountability for women. Anyway, I need to wrap up, guys. I don't know. People are surprised. I used to be in an Iranian prison. Now they're surprised I'm not in a British prison. But I'm not scared of Keir Starmer's prison. You know, my wife is vegetarian, so prison food will be an improvement. I tell you what, prison sex will be an improvement. I'm not attracted to men, I'm just attracted to the possibility of sex with someone intelligent. Someone who doesn't vote for open borders and then is surprised. Anyway, you guys have been great. I'm still out of prison. Thank you.
And I have a huge round of applause for Nicholas Santos!